to another day of Carolween.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine.
Hi guys, it's me Carol. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome if you're new here. So today I'm dressed up as a pumpkin. I have this really cute earring and this eyeshadow moment going on. I'm really glad with how my makeup turned out. And today we're doing this SPOOPY Book Tag. I don't know who created this tag, but I thought it was super interesting and I really wanted to do it. So I'll link the original creator down below. If you still want to join my Halloween themed readathon called Carolween, you still have time. Make sure to check out my announcement video. I'll link it in the cards and in the description box. Let's do this. Question number 1. A book that scared you while you were actively reading the words on the pages. This is kind of the same question for the Halloween book tag that I did. I'll also link it in the cards, but I'm going with Natasha Preston's The Lost. This book wasn't like super scary, but it deals with torture and that made me really uncomfortable and my stomach turned a lot. So I'll definitely go with this one. Question number 2. A book that you didn't find scary while reading it, but after you had the time to think about it and sit with it, you became creeped out. So for this one, I'm going with You by Carolween. This book deals with a stalker, and while I was reading it, I caught myself actually rooting for the stalker, being like, yes man, you got this, don't get caught. I know it sounds weird, but you're reading the mind of the stalker in this book. I kind of forget that what he's doing isn't okay and isn't normal. The fact that he's spying on this girl kind of becomes like a okay thing in the book, and when I finished reading this, I was super enjoying this read. But then I thought about it and I was like, wait, this really messed me up. The question number 3 is a book that was so creepy that you still think about a scene from it years later. For this one, I'm going with the well-known King's work, It. There's a scene in this book and it's one of the first appearances of Pennywise and it really creeped me out. I remember reading this and being so scared. Question number 4 is a book that you couldn't finish because it was either too creepy or too gory. I don't have an answer for this. I finish books even if they scare me. I'm not a person to quit in the middle. If it's too bloody, I'll just take my time. But I don't think there's any book that I haven't finished because I thought it was too scary. So I don't have an answer for this one. Question number 5. The scariest book you've read based on a cult or group of people with sinister values and goals. So I just got into cult thrillers this year actually, so I don't have a lot to pick from, but I would go with Awake, also by Natasha Preston, because this was my first cult read and I think it shocked me the most. As this was my first read, I was really shocked and I really wanted to see what was going to happen, so yeah, I'm going with this one. Question number 6 is a horror book that takes place in an otherworldly location. So I don't read a lot of supernatural thrillers or books that are set in different worlds, but let me think. Yeah, I don't think I have one for this. So the 7th question is a horror book where the main character have to be or do something horrific in order to do what they deem as right or unnecessary. And I have to think. Let me see. Wait. So for this question, I think any book that talks about being held hostage or kidnapped has this sort of trope, and that is falling in love with the captor. And for this one, I'm going with Still Missing by Chevy Stevens. When I say falling in love with the captor, I mean pretending to in order to escape the delusional man. So this is a perfect example of this. The 8th question is your favorite horror book that takes place in the summer. I don't usually remember a lot of the plots of the thrillers that I read, like, let me think. Well, the only one I can think of is It again, so I'm going with that one. The 9th question is a horror book that felt like you were actually watching or reading the script of a classic horror movie. And for this one, I'm going with Psycho by Robert Bloch. This is literally the script for the very well-known movie from Hitchcock called Psycho. So yeah, I felt like I was watching the movie. It was amazing. I totally recommend it. The next question is a horror book that's not scared to utilize modern technology. So I'm not going with a horror book, but I'm going with a thriller, and that is Pretty Little Liars by Sarah Shepard. This is a book about these girls who keep getting messages from this person called A, who knows all of their darkest, deepest secrets. So yeah, it fits perfectly. The 11th question is a horror book that was written before the year 2000 that you felt was ahead of its time. Let me think. Is this one written in... Okay, so I'll go with Misery by Stephen King. This book talks about the worst side of the human psyche, and I do think like it was ahead of its time. The whole fact that the woman kidnaps this man just because she's obsessed with his work and he killed one of her favorite characters is completely delusional, and I felt like it was really ahead of its time. 12th question is a book that you felt greatly changed or influenced the horror genre for years to come. That's interesting. For this one, I'm going with The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. I think including mental illnesses in horror books and thrillers is very common, but they usually focus on depression, amnesia. I think when A.J. Finn included agoraphobia, it was really different from everything everyone was doing. And I do feel like A.J. Finn changed the whole genre because of this. And we're down to the last question, and that is a horror book that is so unique that you've yet to come across anything like it. Well, I don't want to say It again, but It would have been a perfect answer for this because, I mean, clowns, man. It was just so revolutionary. It could have worked for the other question too, but I don't want to keep picking the same books over and over, but that could have worked. So for this one, I think I'm going to go with Sweet Pea by C.J. Scoos. This is a book that I haven't heard a lot of people talk about. The plot is a lot more interesting than the whole book, but this is about this woman. She's got a killer secret and she creates a list of all the people she wants to kill. I don't technically think this was the best book, but the plot is so unique. I think this works for this challenge. So yeah, you guys, that was a Spoopy Book Tag. I hope you enjoyed. I had a lot of fun doing this. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe down below to be part of this wonderful family. I would love to have you here. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below how your Carolween is going. I would love to know. Bye!